Hey, you guys. Believe it or not, I am getting ready for the holidays. And this year, I'm going to not let those holidays slip by without honoring them. But I decided I'm going to still paint in my style with my holiday decor. So I'm sharing with you these little hummingbirds. I did spray paint them on both sides, and I have about 12 of them. So just going to choose a side to color on. I'm starting with a big blob of white using a grabby white acrylic marker. The white acrylic grabbies are great. The black are more gray, but they do write very well. This is a Sharpie acrylic marker. Some of the Sharpie acrylic markers are great and they have better coverage, and some of them are not. So you just have to test them out and know your markers. I'll be using all sorts of acrylic markers here. I'm just kind of going to start randomly going in on the wings, and not with a lot of care, but just getting some paint down. And this thing's going to be really fun in the end. I've sped up the video to 2 times because this is all, you get the point really quickly. This is also a Sharpie acrylic marker. This blue has excellent coverage, as blues usually do. Yellow and orange are sometimes hard for coverage with markers, but blues are usually pretty saturated in color. The pink paint kind of pops through in little cracks and crevices. And you guys, if you've watched any of my florals, I always like to have a bright background with little pops of that color popping through. A ruby-throated hummingbird. So often on my little hummingbirds, I'm doing kind of a red ruby color on the throat just to keep it in line with the North American hummingbirds that we have here in the States. But I've seen, when I research hummingbirds in Costa Rica and different places, hummingbirds are crazy. There are so many different color combinations. So I love doing this because you can really do whatever you want. Obviously, we're not making them look like real hummingbirds, but it's kind of like an homage to what hummingbirds are and can be. We all have that symbol of, somebody who's passed away. And for me, with my dad, it's hummingbirds. He just loved hummingbirds. And so this is kind of cool to me to be doing this. That was just adding a second coat. Now I'm going to go in with another set of tail feathers. You might hear in the background that it's raining, it's storming here. So if you hear thunder or my dog or anything like that, please excuse me. Just a second coat here. These are acrylic markers that I found on Amazon, and it comes in a set of about 50, and they are really great. They're dual tipped. If anybody wants a link or the name of those, just comment and I'll share those with you. They are very, very opaque. So here I'm adding the eye. Sorry, and the beak. My hand was in the way. Eventually I figured that out. Right there, I'm choosing the Posca orange because the Sharpie orange is just awful. I would have to do 3 coats of the Sharpie orange. And with this Posca orange, I only have to do 1 coat. just kind of making my petals go a little bit wonky, as often flowers do. These are jelly roll pens, and I absolutely love them. I use them all the time. They are so opaque and they roll right on. And I know you can't see what I'm doing, but you will in a second, and you will see how bright that is and how opaque those jelly roll fluorescent or neon markers are. It's just about doodling and getting designs on, not overthinking it, just trying to fill the space with color. And since I had that marker in my hand, I started a line around her belly, and then I decided, well, why not make a rainbow here? I kind of turn the bird around, the piece around, to make sure that when I'm working, I don't smudge the wet parts. So yeah, I don't stay working on one area for very long because I've got to let that acrylic paint dry. Just making it a little bit darker. So this is a dark blue jelly roll pen. And I'm making the tail feathers, but on each feather here, I'm doing a different design. So you'll see that close up in a little bit. But, you know, just being a little bit funky here, creating interest. And then I thought it'd be really pretty if I took that same blue and outlined the purple tail feathers. This is a teal green jelly roll. And sometimes I fill those feathers in, but I really liked the way those ones looked with just a little line there. So let's decorate the belly. Still using the jelly rolls. Now I just need to work on another area because those yellow dots that I put in need to dry. And so I'm just putting dots around her eye and creating a little bit of a design, which I've been doing the same design on all of them. I just really like the way it looks. I think I need to kind of branch out soon, but I just really like the way that little dotted line looks. And just filling in the little white blotch there a little bit, giving some more interest to it. But I'm avoiding, you can't see here, but I'm holding my hand a little bit up high, so I'm avoiding those yellow dots so I don't smear them, because I've learned I will smear everything given the chance. Yellow dots are dry, so let's go in with some flowers. Really, the sky is the limit with these. I mean, I've put peace signs and happy faces and all sorts of fun stuff on the belly there. I call that's my doodle zone. Okay, so now we're just making that. You can see close up, there's a lot of imperfections in the paint, but it's not going to matter because with all the marking that we put on here, you're not going to see all of that. And we're painting on wood, so that's going to happen, that you're going to get some nice texture. When I'm finished with these, I spray them with a glossy sealer, and they makes them look really, really pretty and bright. I always spray because I'm using jelly rolls, which if you wipe on a sealer or paint on a sealer, those jellies will they'll smear. So it needs to be sprayed, and sometimes even your permanent marker, depending on what the substrate is, will smear. So even if I paint on a varnish, I always spray first, always with a fixative. This I'm just spraying the varnish on, so I'm not doing the two steps. But my paintings, I'll spray a fixative on and then I'll varnish them. Now, if you've taken any of my doodle classes, you'll see here that I do follow those same guidelines. Where two petals are meeting, I'm going to make it a little bit darker because it just adds that shading, that shadowing effect, and it makes it pop a lot more. So I'm kind of darkening up those little sections. I liked the way my pen kind of fell off over there and made that little mark. It's like, ooh, that'll be a wrinkle in the flower later, so I like it. Just adding that detail on the wings or petals, however you want to see it. But I made these wings look like petals. I just had the idea to outline that in red, and once I started doing it, I was so tickled. I just love that little pop of color, especially against the blue edge that you can see on the edge of the wood. Just love it. Turning over the back, I don't want to spend a lot of time on both sides, or else this would not just make it worth it. I am selling these. If I was giving them as a gift, I might spend more time on both sides. But I am selling them, so it wouldn't make sense to spend hours on something that I'm only going to sell for $15. Generally, what I do is I do this while I'm watching TV with my husband, and so then, it doesn't count as far as time spent. There she is. That's a finished project. Go back to the beginning and you'll see several samples of other birds that I've done. I'll be doing these until November. Have fun, you guys.